the biggest thing that people run into is explaining the way you understand. Like it is. That's what makes teachers teachers, right? Explaining the way it is and giving somebody else the ability to grasp the concept. You're right. You're right. Like being able to visualize something as somebody's explaining it to you is half the battle, right?
Yeah,
so if you could literally shove an image into somebody's brain instead of using words, boom, all of a sudden it makes sense.
Yeah.
I make reference. I make reference to that a lot. When some of my history, right? Being in growing up in a Baptist school.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
They make a lot of reference to like Revelation and all this kind of stuff, like flaming dragons and all this kind of stuff, end of days, right?
Wow, sick,
and
man.
You always think about it like if you were living in 2,000 years ago and you saw a giant metal helicopter fly by with flamethrowers built on it, what is that to you?
Oh,
that's a fire-breathing dragon, right? That's what that is. Yeah. If you saw napalm, if you were having prophetic visions and you saw napalm falling out of a B-51 or something like that, right? What is that? That is a bird pooping firebombs, right? Like that's what that is to you, right? So
your knowledge is only so limited.
It's always interesting how that works, but yes,
very good point. I like that. Yeah.
But anyways, let's not get too deep into philosophical or theological things.
We'll save that for another night.
Yeah,
guys.
No, we won't. Don't worry. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of What the Wednesday with myself, Chris, the mic guy. Actually, no, I'm doing Qualizard. Never mind. And my co-host.
He doesn't know who he is, guys. It's a identity crisis.
And
it's
my
been
co-host,
going on for a long time now.
Dusty, the game hopper. Dusty, how has your week been, man? How we doing?
Oh, I mean, besides the monsoons of rain that we've been getting down
it's
here
been
in Florida,
insane.
it's been a good time.
It's been insane. Like we've been getting it inches. Like when people talk about getting like snow, they're like, "Oh, we got an inch of snow." I've been like, "Oh yeah, I got 6 inches of rain today." Like
it feels like it, man. It's been pouring.
Crazy. It's been absolutely
which sucks because I keep wanting to spend my afternoons in the pool, and it's just literally raining on my parade. So hopefully we can get some sunshine back.
Go to the pool anyways. Why not go to the pool while it's
raining?
I
mean, I won't lie. I've done it a couple times, but sometimes it is nice to just kind of soak up that sun to get nice and toasty, and then you dunk underwater, and it's just that refreshing feeling over and over again.
I hear that.
Yeah.
So,
what about you, man? How's life? How we doing?
This week has been very interesting. So we made I've been telling you on the side, right? We had Prime Day, right? This week we had Amazon
double days.
Yeah, double days, right? Amazon.
It's gonna be a week soon.
I know it's gonna be Prime Week soon, which is okay by me, right?
Yeah, right.
It's really funny. I've never, like I've talked in the past, I'm very inundated to the Google network, right, and the Google ecosystem. Yeah. So I've never really delved into Prime Day that much,
really?
Right? I've always looked, and I've always been like, that's saving $5. I don't need to buy it today if I'm going to save $5 on it, right? Like it's not anything like that.
Yeah.
But this year there was a lot of things that I've had in a wish list that I've just been kind of waiting on. And all of a sudden it was like, well, it's $5 less. Buy it now because otherwise I'm going to, I already want it. Like it was not something that I was like, maybe I'm going to want this in the future. I'm going to buy it for no reason. It was like, oh, I already want all these things. I spent so much money this week. It was way more than I probably should have. But
this was actually like a down year for Prime Day for me. I really didn't buy a lot.
I mean,
which part of me was this weird realization that I like thought about it and I was like, what do I need? What do I want right now? And it was nice to kind of be like, not really anything. Like I feel like I've got a lot of shit,
I mean, that's usually the way that's the way I've been in years past. And then this year it was like for my cameras, right? For my ring light and my camera. I bought quick release, so I just have to undo a screw and I undo one thumb screw and it comes off and disconnects and things like that, where there's like little gadgets where normally they're like $25 and now they're $15. And I was like, well, heck, that's almost half off. I might as well get it, right? Because otherwise I'm gonna pay $25 later when it's over. So there's a lot of things like that, a lot of little stuff. I bought a ton of smart home products. Like I bought little Wi-Fi plugs. I bought new.
Those are nice to have.
I bought new little RGB Wi-Fi bulbs and all that kind of stuff, right? From brands that had sales. And then I ended up buying 4 new microphones this week too. So I mean, I went freaking ballistic. It was way more than I probably should have bought, but.
I mean, you saved money though at the end of the day, right? It could have been a lot more. That's all you got to think about.
Yeah, that's what I tell myself. I'm like, I could have been. I spent a lot to save a lot. That's the way that works, right? It's like when you go to Kohl's and you check out and they're like, you saved, $600 on your clothing experience. And I was like,
Right,
no,
yeah.
I spent $400.
Yeah.
I didn't save anything.
Yeah. They try to make you feel good any way they can. I do have to say the best thing about all these big sales these days is the fact that even, Amazon, it's their Prime Day. Anything else on the internet that wants to compete and still sell stuff over these couple of days run their own things. Like Newegg has some fantastic stuff. Walmart's doing their thing. Everybody drops prices because otherwise they're just going to get absolutely zero traffic. And Amazon already takes most of the sales anyways, but they don't want to just give up for a couple days.
Yeah, that was Elgato was running their own. I mean, I didn't buy any products, but Elgato was running their own sale. And who was the other one? Best Buy. Best Buy was undercutting. Best Buy was undercutting every Prime Day deal by $5.
Really? Wow. Good
yeah.
For
so
them.
so that's what I did is I went to Amazon and I was like, oh look, this is on Prime Day deal, and I was like, the one thing I don't like about Best Buy or Amazon still is you can't use PayPal. Right. The one thing I don't like, you can't use PayPal at Amazon.
I haven't noticed. I've had an Amazon card for so long. I've never even thought about any other payment method.
And I can use PayPal directly at Best Buy. So what I do is I always look on Amazon and I'm like, okay, if I can find it on Best Buy for $5 or less difference, like if it's $5 more on Best Buy, then it's worth it for me just to use PayPal. So that way I'm not having to deal with it. Right. And
it's a big win.
And I went to Best Buy, and everything that was Prime Day was $5 less this time. And I was like, heck yeah! Now that's a win-win for me. I could use PayPal, and it's cheaper. I'm done.
When does that ever happen? Best Buy must know. They're just getting beat left and right.
Oh, I'm sure. And the pandemic has been a very interesting experience for them because, they're shipping. They've got free 2-day shipping on everything now, curbside pickup. All kinds of stuff. Their inventory is super accurate because they want people to come to the store if you can. You know?
No. Those have been the nice... Again, I'm not going to say that there's been any good that's come from the pandemic that happened because obviously it's been a horrible thing for everybody. But it's been nice to see companies and things like that making the technological changes to kind of keep up with everything else and make our lives a bit more convenient where they can.
Yeah. I mean, I bought this... Not that I'm using it today, but I went and I bought the Nano... The Yeti Nano specifically from Best Buy instead of getting it shipped to me. I bought it from I went to the store because they had the blue version. They had the blue one. I didn't want the steel gray one. I didn't want the black one. I didn't want the red one. I wanted the blue one.
Because when you get a mic, guys, the color matters,
Well, I just wanted it to stand out. I have all these black mics behind me, and I was like, I want one to stand out.
Get a little bit of color thrown into your shelf there. That's fair. That's fair. I can get behind that.
So... moving into actual information here, not just us gabbing. What in the world is going on, man?
Dude,
we'll start. Topics tonight. We've got a couple things. Getting value out of your games. Great bundle packages and platforms to start buying games on right now. New games coming out in the future, and then we're gonna pop over to a little bit of information about what the heck is going on with Twitch. Why is this still happening? Kind of etc. information.
We get to talk about that for a while.
So first things first. The bundle package and gaming subscription services that are going on.
Huge.
They are getting amazing.
Huge.
I mean, we saw at E3 this year, Microsoft's big announcement, right, with Bethesda and all these huge, right? So they've got Bethesda, they've got EA, they've got there's a third publisher that's inside of there too. Plus they've got Microsoft Gaming Studios, right? They've got basically, I think there's 4 publishers that are tied into one subscription for $10 a month. I mean, if you're getting a new game every month, it's paid for itself easily. And how the heck, I don't understand how Game Pass is doing it, man. I don't understand how they're making money.
I don't, number one, I don't get how they're able to do these day one launches for new titles for games that are 40, 50, 60 bucks. I don't know what kind of split they're giving the developers. It's because again, there's Dark Alliance, this action RPG game, which, it's got some mixed reviews. It's a $40 game. That's what I wanted to get to. It's $40, but you can buy Game Pass for a month for $10 and play the crap out of it, see if you like it. I don't know if this is going to be one of the things where the games that come out are there for 30 days and then go away, I don't know if they're going to keep it on there for 6 months and then it'll disappear. Regardless, most games you can beat. If it's a single player or anything like that, you can knock it out of the park in a month. So it's not like you need it for longer than anyways. I'm with you. I don't. They have to be bleeding money, but they're doing it to get the subscriber numbers over. I don't know what their plan is, but I'm loving it. I'm loving it because we're getting access to so many titles and so many more to come as well.
I have to wonder. Yeah, like you're saying, like they got to be you would think that they're bleeding money, right? Obviously they own Bethesda, so it doesn't really matter at that point. But EA is the one that I'm really curious about there. Now, I don't think they've guaranteed day one launches for EA, and the
not yet, yeah.
And the EA games are still not their major titles, right? But it's still a big portion of their library, and I just can't see how they continue to sustain this unless it's literally just to try to push out like Steam, and not even push out Steam because I don't think it's going anywhere, but just to gain traction. Honestly, maybe it's a level to try to compete with Sony in the console market because you're allowing people more access to games. I don't know. I don't know what the strategy here is for Microsoft as they continue to do this.
Yeah, I mean, like, definitely the console war, I feel like, is a big leading factor because outside of any, like, really exclusive title for PlayStation that you're just obsessed with and you have to play, there's no comparison when it comes to the PlayStation Plus service to the Game Pass. Game Pass is just offering you tenfold the content, the new games, everything like that, the access to stuff on day one, the extensive back library, all of it. And PlayStation, you get like one free game, and it's usually not a big deal. AAA titles are never on there. It's just this lackluster. I don't know why people buy it, honestly, but I don't know, man. Xbox is winning. When people ask me these days, I used to say, like, I don't know, whichever one you want to get is fine. But most people, if they ask me Xbox or PlayStation, I'm going to tell them Xbox and get Game Pass.
Yeah, I mean, I will say PlayStation Plus is now required to play online, so that's
is it?
That's the selling point.
Thing?
That's the selling point for PlayStation right now. And you do get like 3 games a month, and there's like one. I would say there's one older AAA title. They're not usually old. It's like 3 to 6 months old or something like that. It's not a new release,
nothing
but
on
it's
like a day one,
right. And that's crazy. Like you said, Dark Alliance. Now maybe. This is what's been interesting is maybe developers are leveraging this for unfinished or unpolished games, right? We've seen a couple of titles, Grounded being one of them. Yeah. Grounded being one of the major ones there.
Yeah.
That's a game preview. And then there's another one that I just saw that's released, Dynasty, a Medieval Dynasty. It's a game preview, and this game will change over time, et cetera, right? And I'm a little, maybe that's part of that is they're just leveraging this platform to push a beta or a Charlie. Do they have Charlie? Like, you go alpha, beta, a Charlie? We're gonna push a Charlie out.
Charlie's just the launch, but maybe that's gonna be the new term we come up with. Because I mean, like, obviously you have your early access, which I think that's all game preview is considered now in Microsoft's lingo. You have all the early access stuff on Steam, but very rarely are those games being given away for free. It tells you it's early access. They're still charging you. It might be a little bit of a reduced price from what it'll launch at whenever it is a fully completed game. But it's the developers trying to get money to continue working on the project rather than, stuff like a poor Cyberpunk, that spent 8 years raking in pre-orders and stuff like that near the end there, but they spent 8 years before they made a dime. So I like that it bridges the gap. And again, as a Game Pass subscriber, I'm all for people throwing their games at me, 90% finish or whatnot, because I'll play it. I'll report some bugs here and there. I'll be a beta tester. I don't care. I love signing up for that kind of stuff.
I would love to see that as an option inside of now we both know that from the PC side, Microsoft has a long way to go with their Xbox UI and their their software. But I would love to see an option. I would love to see an option, and maybe it's in there, I just don't know about it, to like report bugs in games and let that go to the developer, not just I found a bug in your software, but like, in this game, I found these issues, and let that go to the developer. I'm sure, we can go to Reddit pages and we can go to Discords and we can do all that. But like, if it was built into the UI to be able to do that right where you're at, so you didn't have to take the time to go outside, I think that'd be a really cool feature.
Yeah. and I've seen that in when it is like a closed alpha or beta. They'll make a point with that, but it is something, you're right, that they seem to knock out of the way when they get into this early access phase, which I agree. It should still be there. It should be, right underneath all the options in your main menu. Play
submit a ticket
options,
or whatever
online,
it is,
quit,
right?
just a report button. Put it in the corner, whatever you got to do. Report a bug. They should make giving feedback a whole lot easier for people, because and like you were saying, going to Reddit and stuff like that. I might find a game breaking bug. That's a hard 3-word combo. And if it's gonna take me 10 minutes to pull up something to write a ticket for it, I am probably not gonna waste that time, because you can call me lazy, but it's just it's not worth it to me at that point.
The best thing to think about it like is, as a developer, right? As a developer, if you had the ability to build in your error catching, right, or whatever, your code reader, and if somebody went in to submit a ticket live, right, like while they're in game, like something happened, my game broke.
Excuse me.
I go submit a ticket, like here's a bug I found, and let that submit to the developer, and then pull those error logs and submit it right with it, so the developer knows what he's looking. Because otherwise, you're waiting for me to describe. Like, it takes a screenshot, it does whatever, right, and it submits it all right to the developer. Because otherwise, you're waiting for me to describe what I want to say, even if the game broke on me, I hate it, I don't know what's going on, blah, blah, right? You're waiting for me to complain, right? And at that point, it's no good, right? You're not getting good information, and you're just causing you're causing. I'm already mad the game broke. Now I'm more mad that I'm having to write a post about it, right, to get something fixed.
Or it's something so quick you're not even sure what just happened. You're just like, it felt wrong. Like something
I fell through the map,
up.
or I fell through the map, or I jumped, like I hit this button and the wrong event occurred, or there's a marker stuck on the map somewhere, like you have a ping marker that won't go away, right? Things like that, where you could, like, okay, here's the last 20 minutes of what the game is doing in code.
That's smart.
And have it sent over. I know that was a big thing for, I'm thinking MMOs, right? World of Warcraft. I know when you submitted a ticket or a bug, or you got stuck in the map or something, you could have a GM actually come to you. It's kind of crazy. Like, in the early days, you could actually have a GM like come to you in the game.
Summon them.
Yeah, it was really cool. But and they would,
to be the problem.
They would pull server logs and all that kind of stuff, and they would find out what was wrong, right? And they would either let you know if they found out that it was real, or if it was just something. Oops, you broke it. We'll look at it. We'll look at it again later. Or you're it was client server issue, and this is what happened, or whatever, right? I mean,
but fair. It's
now,
very cool though.
Now, stepping back to Game Pass, now that I've gotten us sidetracked on development stuff,
it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. The side of this that I'm really curious about is these other gaming bundle platforms. You have GOG, you have Humble Bundle, you have, those are the two big ones right now, I think, still. I mean, those are really the only two big ones that I know of right now, but you have these other gaming,
like Ubisoft Plus, they have their own thing. Obviously EA Play, but that's included in Game Pass. We're gonna not really consider them different things.
How do you think those are going to hold up? Because, I mean, when you get competition like this is big. Like, again, when Microsoft first came out, I was like, I'm not canceling my Humble Bundle. And I haven't yet, but I'm like, man.
Really? You haven't at this point?
I haven't still. And I'm like, I've been thinking about it. I was like, I think it's been like 4 months since I've even gotten the keys for games.
And Humble Bundle just, it's a great service. It's awesome. I love the different packages they'll drop, where you can kind of donate $5-10, get a bunch of games. I'm all for those. The subscription service, to me, though, it's the most obscure stuff I've ever seen. Like, I've never seen a game on there that's like highly recognizable, that like you could show and an average number of gamers would be like, oh yeah, I know that. Like, it's always the weird indie games or stuff like Jurassic Park Evolution that, I don't know who plays that on a regular basis. Like, why that was a $60 game, beyond me. But
what's on there right now? What's on there? I think like Civilization. Civilization 6 is on there right now, and I'm like, I'm like, how old is that game?
Did that game come out? Yeah.
Like, that's the monthly bundle this month.
Which,
and I'm like,
it's great if you're a casual gamer and you like to play old games. I say Humble Bundle is for you. But if you're trying to play the new cutting edge stuff, Game Pass right now is definitely the better option. Maybe Ubisoft Plus if you're into their titles specifically, but outside of that, yeah, EA just needs games. That's what I feel like they haven't launched a big title in a while. So
EA, who does EA own under that? Like smaller titles like what is their big title? I mean, thinking about that.
I mean, they were obviously Battlefield. They are the ones behind the Maddens, the FIFAs.
That's what it is. It's because they just went
Star Wars games.
I feel like
they have Respawn. Respawn's one of their.
I feel like they just pushed big sports games for so long. Like you go to their website and it's all like Madden, FIFA, right? Yep. All the sports games. It's not
Sims, right? That's EA.
I guess that, so they had Knockout City, right? That was owned by them.
That is a recent EA title. I forgot about that.
Mass Effect, which was just a recopy, right? That's not a huge one.
Yeah, the Legacy.
The Need for Speed series. I'll classify that under sports, right?
Fair.
Yeah, UFC,
Battlefield, yeah,
UFC, NHL, FIFA. I mean,
Anthem was a massive
Apex,
flop.
but I mean, how old is Apex now, right? I mean,
yeah,
I don't think Apex gets classified under new games.
Like Titanfall, those were the popular things.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where with how few and far the games are, if you're just gonna play one or two of them, purchase them. If you're gonna play them all, like sure, the service makes sense, but
right. Even if you're if you're gonna put enough hours into any of them to make it valuable, that's kind of the thing. Like, exactly. I can't tell you the number of games that I've installed and then been like, Steam for main example. I've played it for less than 2 hours, and I'm like, no, I'm not. This is not gonna make it, and I get a refund. Right? I'm like, this is not gonna work for me.
That's a secret, guys. Don't
sorry.
spread that around too much. No, you're fine.
But
14 days, less than 2 hours, guys.
Yeah,
they'll pretty much always refund you your money.
Yeah, and I've done it so many times that I'm like, yeah, it's not something to drag me in. I think the only one that I haven't done, it with recently has been Valheim, which we invested a lot of time in that, right? Like we invested a lot of time.
For $20, we 80 hours worth. So I'd say your money per hour of gameplay at that point was well worth it.
And I have to say, speaking on our games to buy, I think Valheim is still a game to buy if you have not played it. It takes a while to get into it. It takes a while to enjoy it. But they came out today. I don't know. They announced they finally caved. The publishers finally caved, or the developers finally caved, and said they caved and said, "Hey guys, we're not going to meet our quota for 4 updates this year." Obviously, right?
Wow. Yeah.
So here's our big information on Hearth and Home.
Roadmap.
Yeah, new roadmap. Here's Hearth and Home, and they're giving us they're actually adding windows to the game. Oh my god, my mind was blown. I was like, freaking windows, dude. Oh my gosh, they're adding new roofs. I was like, yes, new roofs.
We'll have to load up the game just to sweeten up our houses.
I know. Once Hearth and Home comes out, I'm gonna be like, yes, we're down, right? And they're talking about adding
out.
No, it's not even out yet.
It's not.
No, it's Q3.
Jesus Christ.
Q3.
How long? The game came out when?
It's been almost a year.
That is wild.
It's been almost a year, but they've been, they just made the official announcement, and they were like, yes, this is what we're going to do. We acknowledge that we had so many players that we never expected the game to explode like it did. Right. And
thanks for all the money.
Yeah.
That's the part that I hate about like that. Like I get it. Like it's a lot to keep up with. I don't know what server load and stuff on their end. I think even though it was a lot of client side stuff, really, wasn't it? If you were playing the game.
Well, you still had to host they had to host and send like the client lists, right? So when you would host a server, they had that like central one that would just carry. But outside of that, it was all client side. So
I don't know what kind of costs they had to take on that point, and I wouldn't say there were really a lot of bugs that really needed to be fixed. Like they seemed to take care of any of the big stuff out of the gate. I don't technically know what the reason is that it's taken them so long. I don't understand how the large player base has made it harder for them to work on upgrades personally. But it leaves a little bit of a bitter taste in the mouth when it's like, we were expecting all this money, but we're going to use it eventually, we promise. It's one of those things. There's another game coming out at the end of July called Trials of Midgard. That I think is going to be a big Valheim competitor.
So I actually loaded up Worms, or I installed Worms. It's
Which one?
WURMS.
Oh, so not like the Worms.
Not the worms,
games.
like little squiggly worm.
7,000. Yeah.
And it's apparently a big competitor. It's prior to. It was originally an MMO. And
Worm Online.
Yeah, but not the online version. They have the MMO version.
Unlimited?
Yeah, Unlimited. It's the sandbox version of the online game. So you play it single player or like local, and I have that, and I was like, this seems okay, right? Like the concept behind it is cool.
Yeah.
But it seems like it's super more in depth than Valheim is. Like nuts. Obviously, it's more medieval focused than it is, Viking focused, but I was like, this would be a cool one. So I actually installed that because I wanted to see, if it was survival or if it was just kind of sandboxy, right? Kind of difference. So I was trying to figure out what that is. I haven't gotten too far into it yet, but I think that's one that I'm going to test and just see what the difference is between it and Valheim.
Yeah. Yeah. Trial seems going to be, it's more combat based.
Interesting.
But they're still like building up a base and stuff like that, and that's a bit more simplified. So I guess like the builders who really enjoy that kind of stuff will stay with Valheim, but then the ones who really enjoy the combat, the progression, and things like that, Trials of Midgard is going to really expand on that for you. So
any other big games coming out? I mean, we know Battlefield. We talked about that last week a little bit.
Yeah. There's an action RPG called The Ascent that's coming to Game Pass.
Is that going to be like kind of your Diablo style or your...
Yeah, but more like cyberpunky shooter style.
Gotcha.
But still like the top-down, run around with a bunch of your buddies, level up your character and things like that. I mean, at the end of the year, Forza Horizon 5, I'm super excited for. Other than that, this year, not too much on my list. Redfall was a big one from Arcane Studios, one of the Bethesda spin-offs, but that's not coming till I think middle of next year.
Yeah, I don't have anything. I mean, Dark Alliance was cool. I think that's gonna be one, but I don't have anything.
It's fun, something to play for a bit.
Yeah, I don't have anything that I'm really. I mean, maybe Battlefield. I don't know yet.
I
know you already pre-ordered.
I've lost my mind.
You've already pre-ordered it. You're ready to go, man. You're ready. I don't know yet. I haven't decided. I'm still on the fence. I gotta figure it out.
Ultimate pre-order, locked in, no regrets. I would have spent 4 times the amount of money if they asked for it.
No regrets.
If there was a collector's edition, I would have purchased it. That's how. I don't even care. There's no way they disappoint me personally, because this is a game being made for the fans. So much so, speaking of Battlefield real quick, I've heard rumors that the third game mode. So there's obviously the large conquest style, or Warzone, whatever.
Sure.
Not Warzone, but large warfare scale stuff. The second one is like a hazard zone, which I've heard is gonna kind of be like squad versus squad style, maybe Tarkov-ish way it's gonna play. And then the rumors that the third one is just gonna be like a history of Battlefield sandbox, where you can get in World War II planes taking on main battle tanks and Havoc helicopters, and just a fun game mode tailoring to the fans throughout the years. And that just seems like a fucking blast to me.
That could be fun. I mean, and for somebody who's rarely played a Battlefield, I think that might be fun to do as well.
Yeah, so, not meant to be balanced competitively or anything like that. Just jump in and have some fun with everything that's existed throughout the years.
All right.
So it seems like it'll be pretty cool.
So enough about games. Let's talk about what we really want to talk about. Maybe, I don't know.
Let's get to it.
So
it's disappointing to me on so many levels.
In 1 week, we missed an opportunity by having a podcast on Wednesday because it happened. It happened and it left. We didn't even get a chance to talk about it in between the time. But we talked about last Wednesday the new trend. We made it happen. That's right. The new trend that occurred, I mean, I went hard on it over Twitter, after the podcast last week, complaining about it. So,
it's bad.
Last week, the new trend was the ASMR.
Meta, as we're calling it these days. I hate that. I hate that there's a Twitch meta to people.
Was the ASMR content that was very luscious or very.
Is that the word we're gonna use?
That was definitely not the right word.
It sounds wrong, man.
That was definitely not the right word, but that's
scandalous.
Yeah, scandalous, very
sexually suggestive.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, I was trying to beat around the bush, and apparently it wasn't working for me. So, but but on Friday, the two big names, right? The two people that you know out of this whole deal that keep getting recognized, that keep getting content, keep getting publicity out of this is
favorite e-girls.
Amaranth and Indie Fox, right? Two really big ones in this that are just they got banned on Friday, and then they got I was hoping. Dude, I was reading some of the Twitter comments, and the simps came out hard. I know I'm not supposed to say that, but they came out hard in defense of them. So bad. I was like, I'm reading these comments, and I'm like, you guys are so pathetic.
They're the problem.
They are so pathetic. I'm like, what is wrong with you people? Like, there's no way you can actually feel like this. Like, what is this? This is garbage. But
especially like somebody you're like I could understand defending a female who you're getting like actually know physically, like somebody that exists that you might actually have a relationship with, but somebody that you just follow on the internet to like defend them and to that extent is insane to me.
And so I'm going to be honest, I'm really surprised to find out that this was Amaranth's 5th ban, and this is Indie Fox's.
Like Indie's like 12th. Like I don't even know how many times.
I don't think it's that. I don't even think it was that many. I think it was only her 3rd.
It got to at least been 4th or 5th, because I know of 3 previously that happened in like a matter of like a month and a half. Okay. There was one time where she got banned the day she got back from a ban. Like,
what?
Yeah. Oh, I know.
How do you spell her name?
Indie?
Yeah.
INDIEFOXX. I think it's 2 X's. But I think the thing too that I didn't like on Twitter was that it definitely felt like Indy and Amaranth were mocking Twitch for the bans.
Oh, sure. Oh, they were.
They were like welcoming to it. Like,
oh my gosh, it was
like,
so bad.
We get the weekend off. Like,
and then I mean, Amaranth's. So it was Amaranth's 4th and Indy's 5th ban. So that's what it was.
Okay.
It was so bad. And then what? Indy came back, and she did it the same day. Yep. Same thing. Yep. Same stream.
Right.
And I was like, but I did check today, and she was streaming. Oh, she's in the ASMR. She's in the ASMR channel right now, actually. But it's a reform. Her title is Reformed E-Girl G Content. Is
she actually doing that though? That's the
thing. I don't know. You know. I don't know. She was just chatting earlier, and of course it was really bad. No, she's doing okay. She's like tapping a glass of water right now in front of a microphone. Like she's actually trying to do some kind of ASMR content. Yeah. Okay. All right, that's fine. So at least she's but yeah, it was like what? I was like and I don't know. But here so what I was going to say is Amaranth's thing. Amaranth's thing I don't get. Because her first, like, I don't understand how you keep this content the way you do or allow this brand to exist with all the stuff that they're talking about right now with what streamers can and can't do off the platform, and Twitch is trying to make all these new big waves and trying to change things and everything. Her tweet today, filming topless content today. If you think I should release it on my OnlyFans. Right? And then later on, new try-on video for some ridiculous bathing suit on YouTube. Like, and and it's like, I mean, granted, that's YouTube content, so it's okay. But still, I'm like, how do you continue to allow this brand to exist? There's
and then it spreads. That's the problem too, is other streamers see Indy and Amaranth getting away with this, and they're like, hey, I'm gonna push the boundaries too, and cash in while I can. I peruse a lot of Twitch once in a while, especially now, to kind of keep up on these hot topics as they're going on.
Exactly.
Don't judge me. But I think at least 3 streamers I peeked in on today had references to their OnlyFans in their About Me sections in their panels on their Twitch.
Really?
And I blew my mind. No direct links, but one was like OF ? And then a wink. Check my link tree. And I was just like, how is
How is that? How is that allowed?
How are we just now to directly advertise for the porn that we sell?
No,
in our Twitch profiles, and
here
that's
would be the
okay?
question because I know that OnlyFans wasn't intended to be what it has turned into, right? Yeah. I know that wasn't its intention, but I would be very curious to see the growth rate of. And I'm gonna call them out here. I'm gonna call them out. I would be very curious to see the growth rate of female streamers in the past 6 months. Like in any female streamer that has had a substantial, I'm talking about like a crazy amount of growth, right? If any female streamer has had a substantial amount of growth, whether or not they have an OnlyFans page.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I actually saw an ad for OnlyFans. I think I was watching YouTube.
Oh, really?
And it was so weird because it was like people painting and doing music production and all these things, which I get that's on there. I'm not saying that that's not a thing, but it was weird. Then, it does a little OnlyFans. It was like the fastest 5-second ad I've ever seen, but it was just weird because obviously we all incorporate, OnlyFans with something else these days because like he was saying, 95% of the money they make is from a certain type of content, but it was weird to see. You have to remember sometimes that there is actually good, wholesome content out there.
It's just like Patreon, right? Like Patreon, I think, is a direct competitor to OnlyFans in style of what it does, what it provides. Yeah. I think Patreon has been more accepted by the YouTube committee, and apparently OnlyFans has been more accepted by the Twitch community. I guess is kind of the way that's going recently.
Yeah, but very much so.
It's been, but it is. It's a running joke. Like you go into somebody's channel in your stream chat, in my stream chat, I see it in all like. Every time something silly happens, like it's just a ridiculous moment for a male streamer, it's like,
for sure,
OnlyFans when? Like feet pics when? Stuff like that. Yeah. Like start like things like that. And I'm like, it doesn't. It's a joke. It's funny, but it's funny because we're making fun of something that exists, right? We know that it's real. Yeah. We know that it's happening. Yeah. We know that it's there, and nobody's doing anything about it. Like Twitch refuses to do anything about it,
and it's got to break at some point. The streamers and the hot tub stuff still that's out there, and they're wearing skimpier and skimpier like bikinis, and like I get sure you wear a bathing suit at a pool, but some of this is like I really doubt if somebody was going out in public to like a beach that like this would be their choice of swimsuit. There's a reason they're wearing that specific swimsuit for their stream in front of, a susceptible audience that is looking for that kind of content.
They are very, very far and few between. Like, I can tell you, you don't see them, at least the ones that...
Yeah, I mean, we live down here in Florida. There's plenty of beaches around. And, well-endowed women don't usually choose to wear a bikini that only, like, has this much fabric at the end of the day.
It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, they like support. I feel like on their.
I'm sure they do. It's a hard topic to talk about. You're right though. I mean, it just continues to get worse. And I mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned this in stream last week or if I mentioned in the podcast last week or if I mentioned in my stream last week, but we had I went on Reddit about it, and I started talking about it. I started, and you go on the Twitch subreddit, and there are a lot of posts about this, negatively calling it out, talking bad about it. And
I saw that one you talked about in your Discord.
You can tell the community as a whole is not happy. This is not something that people are wanting to be a part of it. And I haven't yet understood. Like, somebody needs to go, like, make I mean, maybe it needs to be me. I don't know. I was like, somebody needs to go and make a YouTube video just going from channel to channel and just screaming about it and getting it on YouTube and saying, Amazon, hey, Jeff, what are you doing? Yeah. Why are you spreading smut across the internet to 13-year-old kids? And make it happen. Like, there needs to be some way to, and I'm going to say it this way, there needs to be some way to villainize the content. Because the problem is
out there. It's like there's XQC reactions and stuff like that. Sure, streamers giving their opinions on what they think, and none of them are just like fully accepting of it.
I don't know. Until I guess at the end of the day, until Twitch sees a negative impact financially, they're not going to do anything about it, right? Like that's the only way that this is going to work. It needs to be something that gets addressed. Like I would love if TwitchCon existed this year and they had like an open seminar. Like, and who's the CEO of Twitch right now? Who's like who is the face of Twitch? I know it's not Dr. What's his name or DJ whatever his name was.
Wheat.
DJ Wheat. It's not DJ Wheat. I think he got told not to come in front of people for a little while, but like
he didn't handle himself all that well last time, did he?
I just wonder like if they had an open forum and like what their actual response to this would be, because the problem is that they're not saying anything about it. Right? There's no answer. There's no response. There's no recognition
the
of it.
Twitch blog has been silent. And I think the unfortunate thing, the people behind Twitch, they know what the Twitch culture is. You know, the average Twitch chat is not like, again, I guess we'll say just in general, the average Twitch chat's not like this super wholesome thing. Like, there's a lot of toxic people on this platform. It's unfortunate, but it's true. And you're just going to get that. And that's why they don't want to do an open forum, because they know they're just going to get shit on in every way possible. And, sure, there's a lot of great things about Twitch. The biggest issue still with all this crap going on, the hot tub stuff, is the fact that it's a website that openly allows minors on their platform, and they suscept them to this type of content willy-nilly. Like, it's not a big deal. Like, girls spread eagle in bikinis. Like, I don't know. It's just not okay. And at some point, it's going to keep bending and bending and bending until it breaks. And it's not going to be pretty if Twitch doesn't get out in front of it.
I need to find a way to get it, recognized on, like, local news station or something like that, because that's where, like, maybe I should.
Shear is the CEO.
Maybe I should bring Riley in here and let him watch something on, like.
Oh my god!
No! Listen to my story. Listen to my story. I'm gonna get my son in here. I'm gonna get my son in here, and I'm gonna let him watch like a cartoon or something on the screen and record that, and then I'll just edit over something else on the monitor when I send it into the news channel or something like that. I don't know. There's gotta be a way.
What a moment.
Yeah, I'm not gonna put my son down in front of Amaranth's stream. No, it's not gonna happen. But there's got to be a way to get visibility on this and get negative publicity for it. Like, that's my problem, is there's no negative publicity for it right now. And until there is, they're not going to answer it.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, outside of, like, the internet platforms, like even some of the big news stations or whatever, sometimes they'll have their internet posts about stuff. But I've never really seen any online gaming, streaming, any type of news making an actual like show headline. They don't talk about that stuff.
Only when it's related to children. Only if you were to talk about children being exposed to illicit content.
Yeah. That's
where you'll start to really see it happen. I think that's where you start to see recognition for it. Right? I mean, because realistically, we've talked about it, like a 6-year-old doesn't even have to, because you don't even have to have an account. You don't even have to have an account.
Yeah.
That's an interesting question. Can you go to a mature stream without having an account?
I do think you have to log in and create one.
For a mature stream?
Yeah. Like, they won't just let you click a button. You have to create an account first. I'm 95% sure of that.
I would be interested, because that would be something that I would be curious about.
Indy and Amaranth, they're not rated as mature streams. Right?
So that's the bad thing in the front. Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, even if they were, you could just still click through and say, okay.
Yeah. And then though, not a lot of good it really does when you can just click a couple buttons and make an account anyways, no matter what your age is.
I'm fully aware of that. But I mean, it's just one of those. I don't know. And maybe that's Switch's defense. Maybe that Switch's defense is, well, at least it's better than them going somewhere else. At least we have some rules, right? And they can't go over here into the Horn Pub. There you go, the Horn Pub. They can't go over there, and
the PH.
Yeah, they can't go over there.
People that put that in their title.
I've seen that, yeah. But I mean, I don't know.
Which, that's whatever. Titles, I'm not gonna give people crap for making titles. It's the content at the end of the day.
I'm really trying to find ways to. or I'm really hoping that it gets on a better path, right? Like this can't keep down the path. It's gotten worse, and it's gotten worse, and it's gotten worse, and pretty soon,
it's
right?
going to keep accelerating that way. Like I said, it's going to keep bending and bending and bending.
Every time this happens, the gray line gets pushed a little more, black becomes a little more gray, right? And it just gets further and further, and it's like, oh, well, this is okay. Let's go a little further. And then you get a couple that are banned, and then they come back, and they're like, okay, well, I can't go that far, but I can go this far, right? And it just, I don't know.
And how many, I hear of all these other streamers, too, like, even XQC has had times where he worries a lot about content he's doing because he's gotten 2 bans for something. And he's like, man, I better not cross that line again because they've threatened to take my account. But they can each, Amaranth and Indy, both have 4 or 5 plus bans.
It
probably
depends.
Each within the last year or 2.
It depends on what the bans are for, right? It depends on what the ban is for. Like, you can only get 3. I think you can only have 3 bans for explicit content. Right? But if you get banned
what else have they gotten banned for if not that? Then,
I don't know.
Like, is that one of the things, too, Twitch is doing? Instead of writing explicit content on some of these, that's their loophole? They just
I have no idea.
Put some other couple of words. Oh, your ban is for this. Be careful.
Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, and some of those are DMCA strikes, right? Because the DMCA strikes is another thing. Yeah. I think XQC has DMCA strikes, and that's another one where he could be watching. That's a weird one because he could be watching something on YouTube or like anything and pull it up. And if that creator wants to come back at him, he could potentially get.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a really weird space with DMCA right now. I don't understand that's a whole nother topic of inaction that Twitch has done for itself that I don't understand what they're going to do in the future. But
it's just, I don't know. Something has to be done. Like you said, the line keeps getting pushed further and further. They're well aware of what they're doing. They seem to have no worry about what's going to happen to them. And again, maybe too, part of that is all these other platforms that are out there. If they do get banned on Twitch at the end of the day, they're still going to be making plenty of money, so they don't really care. They're just going to keep double, triple, quadruple dipping as long as they can.
Yeah.
And sit there and laugh about it the whole way. It's just, I feel like you could take a parent for any child between, we'll go with the actual age that Twitch has. We'll assume that everybody, which there's no way, is actually 13 or older. You take people 13, 14, 15, 16-year-olds, you show their parents the ASMR browse page or the hot tub browse page, and they're not going to be okay with their kid being on that website.
I 100% agree with you. It'll go away. It'll go away like that. I mean, it's like looking at thumbnails on another website that we referenced just 10 minutes ago, right? Yeah. It's like looking at the same style thumbnails.
Like my title says today, is this Twitch or is this Chatterbait? Like the thumbnails, they're the exact same that you'll see on other websites.
Yeah, I don't like it. I want it to go away. Twitch, you need to do something about it. Stop ignoring the issue and fix it. We need action from you.
Yeah.
It has
the community is not okay. We don't want to see it either. The only people that want to see it are the ones consuming the content. And that is not a majority of the people.
So the one thing I did see, and even today, I popped into Indy's stream early this afternoon.
For research purposes.
It was. And she was sitting in her bed, blah, blah, blah. But her entire chat was XQC emojis, like the GIF emotes, XQC GIF emotes, and they were all yelling fart, fart, and right, and it's almost like
it's a real welcome place.
Yeah, it's almost like I wouldn't even say it's people simping. It's just trolls, right? It's just straight up trolls that are giving them the attention that they don't need.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned Twitch's culture historically has given us a sense of people that just want to cause a riot. Like they just want to cause a ruckus. They just want to cause drama. So that's what they're doing. And by doing that, they're giving recognition to these people. If they would just all go away, it would be interesting. Like people that actually wanted to spend time or actually invest in their content, I would be interested because they have their whales, right? They have the people that invest a lot in their content.
Yeah.
If you were to keep those, but all the people that are just there for, trolling, if they went away, I would be really interested to see what would happen to their viewer counts, like what their viewer count would turn into.
Yeah. And would they still continue that behavior at that point, Like, would the hot tub meta have become a meta if the first time Indy did it, she only got 2,000 viewers instead of 15? It's real interesting to think a lot of those things. And you're right. It's the stupid curiosity of people where they want to be a part of whatever it is, good or bad. They want to troll if they want to. The internet is just a weird place at the end of the day. We're never going to figure it out. There's always going to be people trying to incite some sort of chaos in any way they can for their own amusement, and it's never going to go away.
Yep. So anyway, that'll be for next week. We're rolling on the 50
not on our website,
here.
guys.
Not on
it's a safe place.
Yeah, leave Twitch alone. Let us have fun. Let us not have to
worry. There's so many other websites out there for that kind of content.
But I have to say, man, What the Wednesday would be a boring place. We'd have to actually look for topics to talk about. I mean, I've thought about that. I was like, I haven't gone digging through Reddit. I haven't really had to research because it's in your face. Here's the drama this month,
right?
Or this week, or this day.
Yeah, it's just like the news. They talk about all the bad crap because the bad crap's always happening. When anybody watched the news, if it was just like, hey, another 13,000 babies were born today. Let's all take a moment and have a little party. Like, no, it's yeah. And all the content that's been created outside of Twitch because of all this stuff that's going on. It's here we are benefiting from it anyways. Are we part of the problem?
But ladies and gentlemen, I want to take a moment to say thank you to all of our followers, subscribers, repeat listeners are some of my favorite people. We love you guys. Those of you that are here on Twitch, that watch the content on YouTube, that are on Patreon, all these other places that we have our content out there. We appreciate you all so much for being a part of this family and this community, and we love you all. I hope that... Wow, my alert went off in the middle of the podcast, which was really weird. I was supposed to have those turned off, but thank you, Killigan. I'm hoping that I don't know. I got distracted and I totally lost my train of thought. Just finish. Send us home, Hopper.
As Q was saying, thank you to all you guys who come out and support us. Really do appreciate it. You are the real heroes. You are the ones who keep making this happen. We appreciate you staying tuned in with us, listening each and every week. Till next time. We'll see you. We love you.